You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Hello and welcome to episode 245 of the Soul Forge podcast.
Welcome to the Soul Forge, a place of silent mystery, quiet contemplation, and outright mayhem. Join your host, Sean Vanderloo, as he guides you through the adventures of living. Together, we'll talk about life and love, sex and dating, joy and heartache, memories and loss, and so much more. Don't worry, it's not nearly as pretentious as it sounds. Get ready for life, the universe, and everything on the Soul Forge.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another interesting episode of the Soul Forge. I'm your host Sean, as always, and boy do we have some things to talk about today. Well, we always have things to talk about, but this is going to be a bit of a random episode. Last week was a shorter than normal episode. I was extremely tired, as you may recall. I moved from Timmins to Sault Ste. Marie. I got here April 3rd, which was a Sunday. It was actually a Sunday evening. And then I had to work the following Monday, the very next day. So after the movers came and unloaded all my stuff, I had enough time to set up my bed and pretty much go to sleep because it was a long day of loading up the trailer and my car in Timmins and then driving all the way here and unloading and doing all that stuff. And so I've successfully completed my first week of work in my new city, which is also my old city, because I was born and raised here in Sault Ste. Marie, and now I'm back. And that's an adventure for sure. So, actually right now, I'm on vacation for 2 weeks. Because it's the Easter break, and when I picked my vacation schedule back in Timmins a couple months ago, I had picked the 2 weeks of Easter so I could get those stats for using them later on. And luckily enough, when you transfer locations, your vacation schedule goes with you. So that's kind of neat. So how was my first week of work? Well, I only did 2/3 of my mail route because they wanted to ease me in some kind of like transition period, I guess. So I did 2/3 of the actual walking. I did all of the sorting. It's a lot to get used to. They do things differently here than they did back in Timmins. The supervisors are a lot more relaxed. Everybody seems pretty friendly. Right now, what they're doing because of COVID is some people come in at 8 o'clock and then the other half come in at 9, and then the next week you switch just because they don't want everybody in the building at the same time. And unlike in Timmins, when you would come into the mail office, you'd get your mail, you'd sort, you'd tie it out, and then you'd go deliver it. Here, what you do is you come in the morning, and the previous day after your route was walked, then you would sort for the next day. So the mail is always a day behind here. And the only thing you do in the morning here in the Sioux is you flag all your registered parcels, and then you tie out, and then you go. And you deliver the thing, and then you come back and sort for the next day. And I guess they're doing that for as long as COVID lasts. Who knows? Who knows how long it's going to last for? I don't know. I've met all kinds of different people. Do I remember any of their names? No, not really. I'm horrible with names. But, yeah, they seem fairly okay. Now, they all know each other, of course, and I don't know any of them, so I haven't really had a chance to talk to too many people or get to know them or any of that stuff, but I'm sure that'll come in time. Actually, as of this week, it's been 15 years that I've worked for Canada Post. So, yeah, that's exciting. 15 years, and I've got 14 and a half more to go unless I win the lottery or the world explodes or something. So there's that. What else can I tell you about work? I guess not too much. When I go back to work after my 2 weeks off, I'll be doing the full route. I'm on walk 71, which for any people in the Sioux, that is the Pea Patch area. All the streets are named with the letter P, so it can be a little bit confusing. And I didn't grow up in that area, so I don't know it very well. But I'm learning, and every day got better, like I said, because I learned more as I went. So there's that. What else? Yeah, so let me think. This is Wednesday, so it's been about 10 days since I've been here in town. I've been talking to my people back home. I gotta say, it's weird not living in the same house with Julie and her daughter and all the dogs, and not seeing my son whenever I want and all my other people. But we talk fairly regularly. Bishop, my son, has been FaceTiming me, which is nice. So that's good. I get to see him every few days. He seems to be doing well, and he'll be coming for a visit in the summer if all goes well. So that's good. Yeah, so I miss my people. I even made a post on Facebook saying that they should all move here because property taxes are lower, gas prices are lower, and I guess the easiest thing would be for me to move back if I miss them that much. But I've wanted to move back to the Sioux for 20 years, and now I'm here. So everybody should just move here, and we could buy a big piece of property, maybe 200 acres, and we could all have houses on the same land. Off-grid community or something. Wouldn't that be fun? Maybe. I don't know. Sounds like a lot of work, and not everybody wants to come here. The roads are just as pothole-filled as the ones in Timmins. They might even be worse here, I think. And that's hard to believe because the roads in Timmins are atrocious. But I have seen working crews out filling the potholes. They're going to be very busy because there's a lot of potholes. It always feels like I'm on a weird roller coaster ride or being shot into space because of the bumps and the vibrations and all that kind of fun stuff. Before we move on, let's play a promo for another podcast right here on the ESO Network.
Modern Musicology is a podcast covering topics on rock and pop ranging mostly from the 70s, 80s and 90s, with occasional excursions into the 60s and aughts, and even occasionally the 2010s. Anything is fair game. Classic rock, R&B, folk, punk, prog, rap, metal and way more, with 2 Americans, 1 Brit, a ton of fun and a healthy dose of cynicism.
All right, great show, great promo, gang. Hope you check that out. Let's see. My bedroom here is almost all organized. It's a fairly huge room. It used to be a dance studio when whoever owned this house before had a business here, I guess. So it's good size. I have a bedroom area. I have a computer area. I've got a TV area. All my shelves are lined up against the wall. I haven't really unpacked all my collectibles because I've decided I'm going to sell most of them. I may have talked about that on the last episode. But I have gone to see Mike at Vintage Games and Junk, which is basically the kind of store that I would like to own. It's antiques, it's action figures and collectibles and records and comics and video games and pretty much anything that you could think of as a hobby he's got in that store. What they've recently done is opened up a back room, which used to be a storage area, but now he uses it as a place for people to just come and hang out and play card games like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic and all that other stuff that I don't know about. But every second Saturday, he's going to have 3 vendors in there that come in and sell whatever they have. So that's what I'm going to do during the next week and a half of my time off. I'm going to go through my totes and I'm going to pick out some really good things, and I'm going to bring them on the 30th of April and sell the stuff because it's time to get rid of most of my collectibles. I would like to get rid of at least 50% of the things that I have over the next year or two because I've been hauling this stuff around for years. I've had about 40 different moves in my life between university and childhood and bad decision-making things and just whatever. So anyway, that's a lot of moves, and I've carried a lot of the stuff around, and it's time to get rid of it. I've been doing that over the last 5 years anyway, but now it's really, really time to get serious about it and just unload the stuff because I don't need it anymore. So what else did I want to talk about? Well, I just watched a couple episodes of Babylon 5 because later this afternoon, me and the British guys, Paul and Dan, are going to record another episode of the Epsilon 3 podcast, which is our Babylon 5 rewatch podcast. But I found an old notebook so I could take some notes. And wouldn't you know it, it's from the very early days of the Soulforge podcast when I was brainstorming it. So I've got it here, and let's just talk about that because maybe you forgot. My original concept, What is the Soul Forge? It's a mental construct, a guiding image, a way to shape our thoughts, our hopes, our dreams, goals, and desires into a reality. We're creating ourselves, building something. It's taking shape, and it can be anything you want. So that was the original idea. Basically, a guidepost, also self-therapy and all that stuff. And just a way to make people not feel alone, talk about things people don't talk about. So I had about 10 different names for the show originally, and I'll just read them to you. Life Garage was the first one, and the subheadline was Go Fix Yourself. And then the How to Be Human podcast, A Positive Spin, The Bearded Soul, The Pretentious Philosopher, Soul Fire, Mind Matters, The Healing Time, and Keep Moving Forward. So those were the different possible ideas that I had for this show. Of course, we went with the Soul Forge podcast because, as you know, we are trying to forge our souls into something better. At least that's the idea. And it looks like I had written down a bunch of topic suggestions as well. And maybe I've talked about these before. So one of the things was where and how you lost your virginity. Everybody knows that was with the lesbian back in university. I think that's episode 30 or something. I can't remember. What else? A fantasy you've never done or told anyone. I don't know if I've ever talked about that, actually. I always thought about going around the world on a boat and having sex with my lady on a boat, just in the middle of the ocean. I've never done that. That sounds like it would be awesome. Go on a world trip with your lover and just have sex in different ports. Why not? What else? The worst bathroom experience. How about when I went to my girlfriend's uncle's house and I flooded their toilet and it ruined their pictures because it went through the bathroom floor into their storage room? Yeah, that was pretty bad. What was it? Deepest heartache, most valuable thing stolen, most benign thing you were afraid of, that kind of stuff. So maybe those will be future topics one day. Who knows? I'm not sure. And then what else have we got here? It looks like I had some really good quotes that I'd written down. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 quotes of different things, all to do with the same topic. I've made some major changes in my life, obviously, because living in Timmins for 19 years and then moving back home to the Sault, that was a huge thing. And here's something funny that I've noticed too. When I lived in Timmins, I would talk about the Sault as back home. But now that I'm in the Sault, when I'm talking about my life in Timmins, I talk about back home in Timmins. So that's kind of weird. I don't know. Maybe I don't have a home. Maybe I'm an eternal wanderer. I'm a nomad. I don't know. But anyway, back to the quotes. Here we go. One of the hardest decisions you'll ever face is choosing whether to walk away or try harder. Well, I guess I walked away. Number 2. Always go with the choice that scares you the most because that's the one that is going to help you grow. And yeah, moving to the Sault, that was pretty friggin' scary. Had I not been depressed and out of my mind at the time, I might not have put in for that transfer. I don't know. But here it is. I put in for the transfer. I said yes. And here I am living a totally different life. And hopefully it's helping me grow. Getting my shit together and becoming the best version of who I can be. And then, right or wrong, make a decision. The road of life is paved with flat squirrels who didn't make a decision. And there you go. If you just stay stuck, then you're going to get run over, and life is going to go on without you. So I guess I made a choice. Here I am, talking about it. And is it the best choice I could have made? Is it the worst choice I could have made? Is it medium? I don't know. And I can't know until a bit more time has gone by. I do know that I'm not used to my new mail route. I could do my other one back in Timmins almost with a blindfold. But I was feeling pretty stagnant over there, and maybe I need a new job. Maybe this new route will help me. I don't know. Time will tell. Number 4, once you make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen. So that's true. I made a choice to do a transfer, and within just over a month, the post office accepted the transfer. I was expecting maybe a year or two, but nope, within a month. And I said yes, and all the stuff has happened. So there we go. Number 5, Never make a decision when you're upset, sad, jealous, or in love. Depression is a bit sadness, right? So, I did the thing. I made the decision. And, I don't know. The pills that the doctor put me on for my mild depression, the Cipralax or whatever it's called, seems to be helping. I'm not feeling depressed. Am I feeling lonely? Not too bad. I don't have a routine here yet, and I don't really have any responsibilities other than going to work. So it's very strange, but I'll get used to it, I guess. It's only been 10 days that I've been here, so lots of time left. And you know what I have not noticed? You haven't noticed any barking dogs, because here I am living with my brother and his wife and their kids. They've got a cat and a dog, but the dog is really quiet, and the cat doesn't make much noise either. What you might be hearing, though, is all the birds chirping outside my window. So there's that. But so far, it's been quiet, so that's nice. And the 6th quote about decision making: bad decisions make good stories. But good decisions make good stories too, so there's that. So those are some quotes that I had found from, I guess this is, July of 2017, when I was first starting out to make this podcast and decide on what I was going to talk about and all that stuff. And it looks like I wrote down some more topics: collecting, gratitude, that's either repression or depression, loss, apathy, anger, fatherhood, decision-making, and dating. And I know I've done all of those. Is there anything else here? There's some show notes from the anger episode and the apathy episode and the Mom and Me episode. So that's all very good. And is there anything else? No, not really. But I guess that's it. So that's good. So what I need to do is get this wrapped up, get it edited. Then I have to do a podcast with the British boys, and I think that's really it for today. But we'll talk again next week. I'm hoping to have some guests. I've got a good topic with my sister-in-law. I'm trying to get together with Brother Robin for an episode. Maybe Brother Curtis will do one. Ran into Whit, who was the 28-year-old virgin in one of the episodes in the early 20s, I think it was. Episode 24, 25, I don't know, something like that. He's trying to do a podcast by himself. He's been doing it for years, so we're supposed to get together one day too. But who knows when that'll happen. Anyway, I hope you guys are all doing wonderfully, and thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Check out Rusted Robot Toys on Etsy. Leave a 5-star review in the podcatcher of your choice. And until next time, remember, you'll just keep crashing if you never take your eyes off the rearview mirror. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Soul Forge podcast. Your support is greatly appreciated, and we hope you'll tune in again next time. Remember that you can visit soulforgepodcast.com for all of our social media links, and don't forget to share the show with everyone you know. The Soul Forge podcast is your best source for living your best life.
Think about it.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping at the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.